Hey besties, welcome to the drama according to Kayla, and today we are talking about the K-drama Can This Love Translate? Y'all, it already has my heart. As someone who has studied interpretation and translation, I just knew this was one of the first ones that we had to talk about. So before we get into anything, if there's something that I want to make so abundantly clear, please go watch this K-drama. Like, it's 1,000% worth the watch. And I'm not going to be able to incorporate all of the details, the sentiment, and the drama into my retelling unless you want me to talk for hours. I mean, I can do that if you want me to, girl. If you want me to just say that, I can do that. But no, seriously, please watch it. Tell me what you think. And we're just gonna jump right into it. First, we're gonna start with our main girl, our cutesy girl, little Miss Chamui. So we see Chamui on the train. She's like stalking somebody on Instagram, right? You know the vibes. Yeah. We can see our girl's got something she's trying to get to the bottom of. And so she's looking at this picture, she's zooming in on the picture, and the caption's something like, something, fresh start, excited for a new fresh start, or fresh start with something, right? But emphasis on fresh start. And she's just really zooming in on this picture. So she gets off of the train and we see her navigating the city. And we can tell that she doesn't really understand the language. Just forward, she's in Japan, she's Korean. So she's using her phone to translate signs and to read things and to help her navigate her way out of the train station. And then to get to her next train, which is going to take her to her destination. So her destination is this ramen shop that she's been stalking on Instagram, and she sees outside of it, and it's like a group photo. What she's looking at, it's like a group photo. Imagine it's like guy, girl, and then they're all like cutesy group photo outside the ramen shop, right? So she finally gets to this ramen shop and she's comparing the photos to make sure that she's in the right place. So when she confirms this is where she needs to be, she goes and this the attendant, I guess that's what we'll call her, we'll call her that for now. She looks at her and she begins speaking to her in Japanese, and I don't think she really realizes that Shamui doesn't understand Japanese. And so our girl's just kind of like looking at her, giving her a little attitude or whatever, like, I don't understand you. And you could tell it's like, you know how like when you could just see in peep tension, it was like beef on sight. And you trying to figure out like what's going on. Like she just stank face, right? And so the girl, she was like, oh, okay. Like she was just like motioning for her, like, you know, come sit down here, and giving her a menu. Still, our girl, we got that stank face on. She So she gives her the menu, she looks at the menu, and she just points at something with an attitude, like that's what she wants. And she goes, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get you that ramen. No worries. So she goes to the back to start, like, you know, preparing orders. It's a little busy in there, right? And so as she is waiting on her order, we see our girl on her phone. And she's like typing away, and she's using a version of basically Google Translate, right? And so she's typing in, and she's trying to get her wording together in Japanese. And this what she says, y'all. She says, what she's trying to get it to translate to say is, I am here looking for the Korean man who is here for a fresh start. And you go, okay, sister, lay down law, lay down business, right? And so then she's like, oh, I just kind of wish, she's like trying to change the tone and the voice of the app, because she's like, I need it to sound like, you know, more authoritative, more aggressive. Like, yeah, nah, it's not like, oh, I'm here to find the Korean man that's here to get a fresh start. Like, no, she won't be like, I'm trying to find a man that's talking about he want a fresh start over here. Where he at? Bring him out now, right? And so she's like, dang, I need that. And so then she's like, I wonder if this can say cuss words too. And so she starts putting in little cuss words, if mom this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you, girl, do you. What she does not realize is just that a chair away from her, there is this dashing young man. And he's reading some pamphlets in Chinese, actually. And the pamphlets are just like about the city that they're in, just like, you know, how to tour the area and stuff like that. And so as she starts typing, you know, the curse words, and like the app is saying them out loud in Japanese, she's like, oh shoot, she's like a little embarrassed. This is loud. Like, dang, calm down, stop telling my business. She peers over to the guy, and he like kind of looks, but then like she's like, no, like he's Chinese, like he speaks Chinese, like he doesn't even know what's going on, you know. And then there's a little awkward silence, and then the notification for Kakao Talk goes off, and she looks at him like, I know you lying, you're Korean. And he's like, okay, well, I never said I wasn't, right? And so she's just feeling like, so you see me over here struggling, but you pretending to be Chinese and you're eavesdropping on me. Like, what's up with that? What part of the game is that? And he's just like, whoa, hold on, sister. I never said I was Chinese. You assumed I was Chinese. And one thing about it, well, pow, he pulls out a bunch of pamphlets, and it's all the pamphlets in all the different languages. He was like, I actually read these pamphlets in English, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Italian. And she's like, okay. What you trying to say, big dog? Like, you're what? Trilingual, polylingual, the linguist? And so they're going back and forth, right? And so she's like putting the pieces together, and she was like, well, shoot, like, he really know language like that. And like, as they're going back and forth, boom, we get this emergency. This kid that was on the other side of the restaurant, he falls out. And then we hear this lady, and she's like, ambulancia, ambulancia, ambulancia. And he rushes over, right? It's a family. They're visiting from, I'm assuming, Italy, because they speak Italian. And he rushes over and he speaks to them in Italian, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know, my son, he's having an allergic reaction. I think it's a snack that he had while we were on the train. And so he calls out to the attendant, the lady that took our girl Shamui's order. He starts speaking to her in Japanese. And he's like, I need you to call the ambulance, okay? And she's like, okay, but we're so deep into the city, like, the ambulance isn't going to be able to reach us. It's going to take them a minute. And he was like, tell them to meet me on the main road. Scoops that baby up, books it, starts running, right? So they get to the main road, the ambulance meet them, they drop the baby, but they safely take the baby, place him in the ambulance. I'm saying baby, this kid's like 6, 7. He's probably like 6, like young child, elementary age, enough to travel with and not have too many issues, right? We're off topic. He then speaks to them, the family, mom and dad. He gives them his card. And he's like, if you need any further interpreting assistance at the hospital, just please call me, you know? And so then he heads back to the ramen shop because he just dropped everything and like jumped into action. A real man. So once he gets back to the ramen shop, our girl Shamui was still there with his stuff, waiting for his return. And, you know, he thanks her, you know, for hanging on to his stuff for him. And just as he's about to walk away and leave, she grabs him and she goes, please wait, no, I need your help. And he's like, I know it ain't with that man drama. I don't like no riffraff. I don't like no mess, no drama, okay? I don't like that. And she's like, no, please, like, just please hear me out. Please help me. And he goes, okay, well, I'll help you, but I'm not interpreting. any like messages that are meant for harm, and I'm not interpreting any profanity, which, pause, let's just take it aside. If you are an interpreter, I mean, in order to interpret the message and to convey what the person is saying to the fullest extent, but you agree to do, which I get it, I understand. You're not being paid for this, so you can draw some lines, but like genuinely, if you're gonna interpret what's being said, you gotta interpret everything that's being said, my dog. So you already got some biases in the work, right? So he agrees, and she goes, okay, no profanity, no bad stuff, just please help me try to keep my dignity intact. I just want answers, and I can't handle my pride being hurt, especially over, I'll just say it, like, we're just gonna call the translation app Google Translate, especially over Google Translate. So they go back to the ramen shop. The ramen shop's cleared out, lunchtime is over, and they call for the girl that was serving them before. And she comes out, and he interprets for our girl, Shamui, and she's just like, you know, when will Odu be back, right? When is he gonna be there? Like, da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, oh, he's away, he's on travel, like, blah, 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 blah. But I'm really not 1,000% certain. I can't answer well. Let me get his girlfriend, and she could tell you better.
Huh?
So now we like, wait, this ain't his girlfriend. We got this all mistaken, girl. We've got this all mistaken. So she goes to the back. She tells the girlfriend to come out. Baby, girlfriend comes out stomach first. Girlfriend comes out stomach first. I'm talking stomach, okay? And Shamui's mouth is on the floor. And so was the interpreter, because he said, once again, I did not want to be in no mess and drama, okay? So, stomach first. Hey, how you doing? How I'm doing? Interpreter looks at Shamui. She goes, our girl, she says, I don't really want to know much. Just ask her, how far along is she? He interprets. Miss Mamas says 7 months. Shamui looks, and she was like, I know you lying. And walked clean out that ramen shop. And so the interpreter kind of standing there like, I don't really, like, okay, like, let's pause. He's a very composed person. He is very, like, he's very put together. He's very professional, just like all around. Like, he takes himself very seriously. Nothing wrong with that. But like, even to like handle a situation like that and get the tea, get the drama, to be all up in the mix. Oh my gosh. So our girl walks out. And so he, you know, apologizes to Miss Mamas or whatever. He's about to leave. And Miss Mamas is all, I'm assuming that's Shamui. And he was like, yeah, I'm assuming that's her name. You know her. And she was like, I had a feeling that was her. Can you relay this message to me? I mean, can you relay this message for her? To her? For her? Prepositions. Wow. And so he was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Just, you know, doing a job. And y'all, you will not believe. Oh, you're not going to believe what this girl says to him, to tell her. She says, I just want her to know this baby is not his. This baby is my ex-husband's baby. And I just took advantage of his kindness and his care. But since she came all this way, and if she can convince him, she can take him. She can have him. My good sis, I didn't quite hear that. What do you mean? I can have him. Not you coming to me. Let's just get this straight. You come out pregnant. Let me assume that that's his baby. And now you want to come to me, woman to woman, and say, you know, matter of fact, you can have him. You can have him. So, of course, as the good interpreter that he is, he relays the message, right? My good girl, Shamu, we had the same reaction. She said, I know you lying. Strike two. I know you lying. And so Shamu's ready to give her a piece of her mind. But keep in mind, our old boy doesn't want to relay bad, ill intent messages and no profanity. And she's like, no, I want to go back in there and give her a piece of my mind. And he said, okay, if you want to do that, you can do that. You can absolutely do that without me. You don't need me to do that. You can go in there, you can act a fool, throw some plates, flip the table. You can do that. Know that you're mad. You don't need me to interpret. Matter of fact, you really want to tell her how you feel, flip her off. Just flip her off. She's going to understand what you mean. She's going to know you mad and she's going to know you mad at her. You don't need me to interpret that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a language that everybody speaks. And so she was like, I don't think you understand. And he just kind of like, you know, he just kind of gives her a look. It's just like, the way that he sees it, or at least, the way that he sees it is that she's trying to go in here and she's trying to like roughhouse. She's trying to instigate with this lady. This lady's pregnant. Man's is moved on, whatever. And she's still trying to keep up the drama. And she's like, no, even though that might look like their love and fresh love to you, you don't understand my love. You don't understand what I went through for my love. This is a man that I have been with for years. I'm talking years. And every now and then he would take a break. He'd take a break for a couple of months and then he would come back. And then we would do the same thing all over again. This time he left for 3 months. And then he just never came back. And then I see this post on Instagram talking about starting a fresh start. I want answers. I want to understand. And now I'm hurt because she's been blindsided, you know? And so the thing about it, I think the biggest thing in this scene is that even though her love doesn't look like the new and the young love that it seems to be happening with Miss Mama's, her love is still real as well. Even though it looks like chaos, even though it looks like destruction, her love is still a version of love that exists and deserves to be heard and understood. So once she portrays this to him, the interpreter realizes that he's got his biases and it's unfair to her. It's very unfair to her. So they return to the ramen shop. And she's a little surprised to see them, Miss Mamas. And they finally have their sit down, the real woman to woman talk. How do we put this? Once they begin, Shamui's immediate. She wants to know, had he been cheating on her with Miss Mamas? Because she doesn't understand. She's trying to figure out if all of those times where he was taking breaks and needed space, was the space in Japan with another woman? And so our boy interprets, and then Miss Mamas, she says nothing. And John was like, yeah, figured. Absolutely figured. So now she's ready to like pop off. She's ready to say her 1, 2. And the interpreter turns to her, he's like, hey, want to remind you, I'm not interpreting that, so you better make it something nice. I mean, he don't say it like that, but like, he's a polite guy. He's a super, super polite guy. But that's the vibe, right? Like, he stern about the business. So he's like, hey, not doing that. Remember. And she goes, okay, yeah. I already know. I just had to give my one off. But since you want to interpret anything bad, how about you tell her this? Let her know I am so glad that she found joy in this misfortune. And some other rah-rah nonsense, basically like, congrats to you, girl. You really won. You won the package. So then Miss Mama, she looks up and she says to her, but I want you to hear me out. Just please hear me out. Imagine you come in, you got a woman talk, and the girl that he been cheating on you with talking about some, no, hear me out. Girl, no, you can, that's what you can hear out. That's what you can hear out these hairs. What is you talking about? She's like, no, please hear me out. And they like, okay. I mean, they didn't really have a choice, so she starts speaking. And let y'all put your seatbelt on. Put your seatbelt on. This is what she says. Back when he was studying in college in Japan, we met. And we grew very close and very fond of each other. Okay. We grew very close and very fond of each other. And then another woman stole his heart. So now we sitting here like, another woman stole his heart? Girl, what is you talking about right now? What are you talking about? And this woman, it just seemed like her life was just so sad, so miserable. Nothing in her life was going right. She had nothing. She had no one. She had nobody. Her family abandoned her, and he just felt like he couldn't leave her alone. Every time I tried to get her to stay, every time I tried to get him to stay with me, to be with me, he couldn't just leave her. He couldn't just leave her alone. He couldn't. And so here I was, hoping that he would eventually come back to me. But he didn't, until now. And do you know, Sergio, why are you trying to beat me to the punch? And do you know who that other woman was? That woman was you. John, we said, who? No. You. Once again, we are all too stunned to speak. Shamu has to take a big girl gulp. You know? Because as if that news wasn't enough, then Miss Mamas proceeds to read her DM. Because at this point, she's a lady. I would have been ready to cross that table. She goes, and I just think it's sad. I just think it's so sad. Because if you was beefing at that wedding, you should have been beefing at that wedding. Because if we can't go to Bella Noche's to turn up, then no. But actually, she was like, I just think this is sad. I just think like the fact that even after he left you 3 months ago, you didn't have enough pride or integrity for yourself. You had to bring your butt all the way over here, alone, lonely, with nobody, still ain't got nobody, still trying to see about him. It's sad. It's really sad. It's sad. And so our girl looks to the interpreter and she goes, please, don't interpret. I got a feeling what she's saying. I don't need the words to understand. I know. Okay, I know. And so the interpreter's like, well, what you want to do, girl? What's up? What you want to do? And she's like, honest, I want to cry. And if it's anything me and Sean, we got in common, me too, girl. Big inconvenience, small inconvenience. I want to cry. But she don't want to get us the satisfaction of crying in front of her. She's like, I'm trying to hold it together, but this is tough, right? And so he goes, okay. And you know what this dashing young man does? Oh! He pulls her into his shoulder so that she's away from her. And he goes, it's okay. I'll handle this. And then we'll leave. He's a caring man, and that's the easiest way to become my man. It's not my man, but that's my man. Okay? So he looks to Miss Mamas and he goes, listen, what you said was truly hurtful. Well, like that was just, yuck. And I won't be interpreting that. But we are going to remember this moment and the way that you treated her. I didn't like it. Disgusting. And matter of fact, she's not alone. You must have misunderstood the situation. See, we traveling together. And that was real disrespectful to her. And I'm not going to let you disrespect her. And I would never say words towards her that would hurt her. So know that we're not going to interpret that. But I do want you to know that we just came here to visit, to say hello, to check in, to see how y'all were doing. Look, we even brought this gift for you. But trust, we are never going to forget the way that you treated us. I think it's time for us to go. So he gets up. He grabs our girl by her little wrist. And they mosey out the door. She's confused. She don't know what happened. I mean, the whole conversation was in Japanese. I get it, girl. They head out the door. And then our girl, Shabui, she comes back and she gives her a good old bird. Go bird! And then she leaves. Oh my gosh. Like, honest, shout out to her because she really held it together well as best as she could. Like, imagine going into a situation where you just want to get to the bottom of stuff. Like, you just want answers and you've been wronged and you've been hurt and you know it, but you want to know why. Only to find out that you're the other woman and not the other way around. Dude. And so we continue. So they leave the ramen shop together. And of course they go their separate ways, right? No, it's a K-drama. Come on. They're together. Here's how they're together. So she thanks him. I appreciate you so much. Like, you know, this was a really serious situation that you just brought some humanity to, right? As they're about to go their separate ways, he gets a call from the family that he helped, the Italian family. And they go, thank you so much for your assistance. I just don't know how to repay you. Our baby boy is doing well. It would mean so much to us if you could take this reservation that we paid for two at this really nice and fancy place and take it for us. We won't be able to attend. We're still going to be in the hospital. Please, please, please. It's the least that we could do for saving our son. And he goes, okay, yeah, fine, I'll take it. So he invites our girl, Miss Chamui, to go to the dinner with him, the reservation. It's at 7. And she goes, you know what? Yeah, I will do you the honor of eating this food with you. And he goes, do me the honor? Ma'am, I did you a favor. And she goes, yeah, but now the favor is I can't let you enjoy good food alone, so here I am. My girl loves a good time. She knows a good time. And so she's like, okay, well, let's go. And he was like, oh, no. Like, the reservation's not till tonight. And she's like, oh, well, I'll meet you there. And he's like, well, why don't we just tour the city and just, hang out and get to know each other? And she was like, for real? Because, yeah, so now we've got this traveling montage. They're going through the city. They're exploring. They're getting to know each other. They're seeing all the touristy spots. They're sharing their dreams. They're sharing their ambitions. They're sharing the things that make them them. And by them, I mean she's doing most of the sharing. Come on, girl. She's a yapper. I get it. Me too. And so they get to this point where they're by the ocean. And she's like, wow, it's just so amazing. And as they're touring along, she's taking photos. And he's looking out for this, like, cliff kind of area, like rocky. I don't know how to explain it because I don't live near an ocean. And she takes this photo. And she makes this little carousel. A photo supposed to her Instagram. Just to, like, commemorate this moment and this experience that she's had, because it has been a day, sister. And so they sit down and they're watching the water, and she was like, well, maybe we should exchange socials, yeah? And he was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. If we exchange socials, people might be in my business because you're a little bit of a celebrity. A little backstory, she shares that she is in acting, but she's only played minor roles in major films, and she's hoping that one day her career takes off. And she's like, no, please, like, will you follow me at least? Like, my goal is to hit 10K. And you know what, girl? Me too. You can subscribe to my personal at Hey Kayla. You can subscribe to this channel on TikTok according to Kayla. And you know what? You're this far into the story. Just go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah. So anyways, our girl's like, I'm just trying to hit 10K, like, And he's like, if I follow you, you're a little bit of a celebrity. You're gonna be in my business. I don't want that. Thank you, but no thank you. And she goes, okay. He checks the time. He goes, oh, we gotta get going. We gotta get to this reservation. So they start navigating to the place. Of course, girl, it's a K-drama. They get lost. They get lost in the city together. And they're, like, starting to, like, not argue, but, like, debate over directions. And so they get to this point, and they're separated by train tracks, or, like, crossing over the train tracks. And she goes, no, I really think the restaurant's this way. And he's like, no, I think the restaurant is this way. And she goes, all right, bet. I'm going to ask these kids over here. And if they say that that restaurant is this way, you gotta follow me. And so he was like, all right, I guess. Men, they got that pride or whatever. And so she goes to ask him. And sure enough, our girl is right. Our girl for the win. But they're still on opposite sides of the train track. So as she finds out that she is right, train tracks, the little, what's that thing called? You know what I'm talking about, with the lights and the stick. It's coming down. Train finna come up the tracks, right? And she goes, oh no. So the train hasn't really come yet, but we see it in the distance, and their path has been crossed off. Ugh, talk about a metaphor. And so as the tracks are coming down, he gets a call, and he has got to go. And so our girl, she's understanding, right? To a degree. He's got to book it. But give me a second. I'm going to explain to you why our guy's got to book it. Like, he's just got to fly. He's got to go. So they go their separate ways. No goodbyes, no nothing. Now we're at a point where, as the viewer, I'm not going to lie to you, I am absolutely, utterly confused. The scene changes. I'm literally in my head. I'm trying to keep up. I'm thinking, did I just get an ad? I know for a fact, me personally, I know for a fact that I pay for ad-free Netflix. And it looks like that I'm getting, like, you know how like when you finish a show and you finish an episode and then you get a preview for like 50, 11 shows after it because they're trying to get you to watch and the blah, 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 right? I'm thinking it's one of these moments and I'm like, whoa, okay, way to end an episode, I guess. But no. No, 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 no. This scene keeps going and we hear cut. Baby, we are on the set of a movie. Not just any movie. We are on the set of the first film that our girl, Shamui, is starring. This is her first lead role. Give it up for my girl. Yes. Okay. It's to set the scene. Let's think Wednesday, make it zombie, make it quirky, you know? And she's just looking lifeless in the face and she's doing the thing, right? So, director calls cut, she comes off of the scene and her manager's like, babes, I have concerns. I have concerns about this production. This is your first big film. And I don't want it to give you a bad rap, bad name. And she's like, whoa, 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 stop. What we not gonna do is we not gonna bad talk the director. We're not gonna bad talk the script. We're not gonna bad talk this project. He has a vision and I respect the vision. And I'm going to do my best to perform my best. And I'm going to give it my all, point blank, period. And you know what I got to say about this? Our girl is a loyal girl. She is a girl that, like, when she knows she's supposed to be somewhere and there's something for her, she's locked in. She's ready to give it her all. Like, that's loyalty, you know? And so her manager's like, okay. Like, you know that feeling of like, I feel like you're literally walking into a house that's on fire, but I support you. Yeah, that's what he was like. So then let's cut ahead. They're almost finished shooting. And this is the last scene. They need to get it in. And this scene is being filmed on the top of the set. So the set is this hotel. We are on the roof of the hotel. And of course, the stunt double doesn't want to do the stunt. But we need to finish the movie. So our girl, our loyal, dedicated girl, dedicated to the vision, she says, I'll do it. I'll do the stunt. The director's excited. Oh my gosh, he's excited. He said, baby, I promise you, we're going to get this shot in one scene, one take. I don't know why I said one scene. You're going to get this shot in one take. They strap her up. They put the cords on her. She's, okay, so for those who are listening, let me explain this, okay? So our girl is facing us, right? And she is she's standing on the edge of the roof, right? And her back is to the skyline, the city line, and obviously, you know, everything else behind her. I'm having a hard time, but I just want you to see this as clearly as possible. And so they go 1, 2, 3, action. And our girl, she falls back in the most dramatic way. Actually, I'm doing too much arms. It was very ominous. It was so ominous. Like, imagine, it's actually given a little, what's that movie? The Ring? No, The Grudge, Ring, one of them. The girl with the hair. You know who I'm talking about. And it was like kind of ominous. And she just falls back. And they go, cut, we got it. And she is just feeling this immense, like, like, you know how you just really lock into a project and then like you finish it and you feel good. Like, you know you did that, right? She's just got that feeling. And then on top of that, she's just like in the air. She's just in the air. She's just like, right? And they're like, all right, reel her up. So the men, they start reeling her up, okay? And she's like, this is amazing. This is perfect. Life can't get any better. I'm a star. And you know what? I get it. Me too, girl. I'm a star. Well, so as they're reeling her up, the cord breaks. She does not make it to the top. I'm talking that cord snaps and our girl goes flying down, okay? What I forgot to tell you, the reason that they had to rush and get this done was because it's like a holiday or something, and there was supposed to be a fireworks show happening over the city, and they were trying to get this shot in before the fireworks show started, okay? Cord snaps. She's flying down. The fireworks show begins. I'm talking perfect timing, cinematic, just fireworks going. And our girl smacks that ground. I'm talking hard. She had to be like, it wasn't like she was all the way reeled up to the top, but she was like midway. So she was at least like 6, 7 stories up, right? She smacks the ground. Head hit that concrete hard. And she's just staring up into the sky and she goes, wow. All of my life, I have avoided and just haven't seen fireworks. And today, the day that I feel that I'll be taking my last breaths, closing my eyes for the last time, I finally see the fireworks. And I'm not gonna lie, they're so freaking beautiful. And that pisses me off. So she closed her eyes. And unfortunately, guys, our girl is in a coma. Let's take a breather. Imagine you finally feel like life is going your way, and you literally fall hard. You fall so hard. And she falls in the literal sense. Like, it's one thing to mess up it's one thing to mess up on the job. And it's like, this is a mistake that I either I just can't recover from, or this is going to be forever to recover from. I'm just gonna have to start all the way over. But she literally fell and hit with her head rock bottom. Girl, you talking about, I was on that couch screaming, okay? I need to add just a little bit more context for us, right? So our girl is in a coma, but let's backtrack just a little bit so we understand the interpreter's perspective in all of this. That way we get a clearer picture, yeah? It'll only take a second, okay? Stay with me. So the interpreter, he's doing a job in Japan, and he's interpreting for this well-known author to a crowd. He's doing an event that someone invited him to, right? And it seems like, this is just a regular day from him. He's just doing his job. And so once the event wraps up, they leave, and we can kind of get the understanding that him and the author are on really good terms. Like, they seem very close with each other, at least far more personal than something that's just strictly professional, right? And so they're chatting, they're, making their plans for the evening, and the interpreter goes, well, I've got some other things that I need to tend to. And he goes, okay, must be a girl. And he was like, no, nothing of that nature. I've just already made previous plans for myself. And he's like, right. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And so he goes, well, here, take this present and give it to her. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. Now, we remember a present, right? That present he gave Miss Mama's? Yeah. Go and put 2 and 2 together. Wait, not too many 2 and 2s. He just reused the present. He's just regifting. Let's calm down. All right. So he goes on his way. And remember, I told you our girl was on the train, Instagram stalking, zooming in, reading comments, reading the caption over and over again about this ramen shop. Well, in the background is we see the interpreter talking to this family in Italian, and they are just so shocked that they have never met a Japanese man who speaks Italian. And he goes, well, I'm Korean. But yes, thank you, I'm an interpreter. Right? That goes on. They get to the restaurant, continues talking with the family. He makes recommendations, and he sits down at the bar. You know what happens from here, so let's just jump ahead. So, as they're touring the city, we begin to learn and understand why he knows so much about this city. Like, as they're going around, he's doing most of the pointing out and, you know, showing her around the city. It's not like they're really exploring the city together. It's more like he's giving her a tour of the city. And so she's just wondering, like, how do you know the city so well? And gosh darn it, of course, a woman is involved. Of course, it's another woman, it's another girl, of course. And he explains, he doesn't really want to share much of his personal life, right? But he does explain that he met this girl one time while he was visiting the city, and he knows that she comes to visit this city every year on her birthday. And so he also comes every year in hopes that, you know, maybe he'll see her again. And immediately you feel, oh, why my girl? Why you had to be a hopeless romantic, pining and yearning for love when something new is just absolutely blossoming in front of him? But you know what? I get it. When your heart's tied up somewhere else, it's hard to see something fresh and new that's in front of you, you know? So, let's now get back to the train tracks. Okay? Our girl gets the directions. She wins the bet. Ding, 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 comes down, right? Whatever that's called. You know it. Train's coming. And he gets a call from a guy. And he says, such and such. We'll get to the name later. Such and such, I think she's on the island. Do you have any idea where she could be? And he checks Instagram. And he sees that such and such, the girl who got away, is indeed on the island on her birthday. And he knows exactly where she is. He knows exactly where she gonna be. And so he leaves. We see the train go by. 1 second his feet are there. Now they're not. No goodbyes. And that's when our girl continues along her way. This part, it sucks. You know, I understand. I get it. I do. I don't want to, but I do. You know, you just want to you want to hope for that spontaneous love. Like, that interaction, those butterflies, that feeling. That's what you want to feel. That's what you want to see. Like, you're just. Anyways, so let's go back to where we left off. Our girl is in a coma. It is December, and she opens her eyes. There's Christmas lights everywhere. And our girl has finally opened her eyes for the first time since the fall. And let me tell you, the entire world is on fire for her. Do-ra-mi, 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 do-ra-mi. The entire world is obsessed with the role that she played in this movie. The character's name is Dorami, right? I don't know if you can tell. They are obsessed with her, and the news dropped that Dorami is now conscious and awake from her coma. Girl, you talking about everybody is hyped. Like, our girl is awake. And our girl Shamu, she has no idea. She has no idea the impact that this role has created. Like, I'm talking like the movie, the dance, like everything about it. Like, it was a viral sensation. Like, they were eating it up. And she had no idea because she was in a coma. So now she opens her eyes and literally the world's obsessed with her. The last time before she had closed her eyes, she had 10K followers. When she opened them again, she had over 10 million followers. 10 million. Let me close my eyes a couple times. Maybe that'll help. She had presents, get well cards, all of these things from her adoring fans from literally all over the world, every language, every country you could think of. It was there. It was like literally breaking news headline, like, Dorami is awake, you know? And she's trying to put it all together. So once she gathers herself, she is immediately thrown into the press cycle. I'm talking photo shoots, interviews, late night TV shows. Get her on here. Do the dance. Tell us about your life. Tell us about your experience. She is in the limelight immediately. That's like a lot. And this is when we learned that our girl has been in a coma for 6 months. 6 months. Oh my gosh. And so your entire world has changed around you, and she's just like trying to keep up and be the person that the people are calling her to be, because what else she gonna do, girl? Like, you know, this is your festival, this is your party, this is your parade. Things are starting to come together. And during one of her interviews, she sits down. I can't remember the language right now, but it was for an interview for Vogue, I think. And so they had to have an interpreter. They had to have an interpreter. So they ask her questions. This is the setup. Let me give you the setup. Let me give you the setup. Interviewer, cameras. Interviewee, our girl. Behind her, the interpreter. So the interviewer asks her questions. Something about something. Don't even matter. What color you think the sky is? The interpreter speaks. And she goes, I know that voice. I know that's not my man. That's not my man. But that's gonna be my man. Ow! She turns around and it's him, and she goes, it's so good to see you again. He's like, likewise, it's great to see you. Our girl's flustered. She's got some butterflies. Yes. They continue the interview. The interview finishes. She calls for him. She says, hey man, send that man back. Send that man back to my room. Okay? I want to talk to him. And so he goes to talk to her. She's running late. She's got so many events. She's booked. And she's like, just stick with me. We can chat on the way there. She does another interview. They ask about the guy in the photo on her Instagram. You remember that picture she took after she had the worst day of her life, and then she posted that guy while he was looking off into the ocean? Everybody wants to know, who is that? Who is he? Is he the interpreter? Is that your man? That's your man, for real? She's like, oh no, like that's just, you know, someone I met along the way while I was touring, And so the interview wraps up and they finally get a chance to catch up for real. And we learn, unfortunately, him interpreting was not a coincidence. He set this up, pulled some strings, asked a friend for a favor. Please let me interpret for little Miss Dorami because I need to talk to her. And what does he have to talk to her about? He wants her to take down the Instagram photo. Not because he wanted to see her beautiful face again. Not because he wanted to be in her presence, congratulate her, and be so happy for her. No! He wants her to take down the photo. That's it. That's why he wants to see her. Yuck. And she's like, okay. And you can tell our girl has feelings for him, you know? You can tell. So she's kind of like confused. And she's like, okay, but like if I take the picture down. And he's like, yeah, no, please do that. Because my friends done seen the picture. My family done seen the picture. Everybody know that is me. And she's like, everybody doesn't know that's you. Oh, he's like, okay, well, the people that know me know that's me. And I keep telling them that's not me, even though I know it's me. So take it down because I don't want to see me on your page. And she's like, okay, well, listen, let me tell you something, sweetie. Social media doesn't work like that. I take you down. I take you off of my page. You're the bad guy now. You are now the bad guy. You're the person that broke Dorami's heart. And they're going to be looking into you even more than what you already want. Is that what you want? Is that what you really want? He's like, well, didn't really think about it like that. Now that you put it that way, let me give it some thought. She's like, okay, fine. So they go on their way. They did this over dinner. And so they go on about their way. And eventually he does decide, take it down. I don't want the photo there. And so she's a little torn, but she's like, okay, fine. I respect what you would like, your wishes, your privacy. I did do this without your permission, so I'll take it down. You just kind of get this feeling, well, at least I got this feeling that the reason he really wants this photo taken down is because our boy's still conflicted. He's mixed up in some emotions that ain't got nothing to do with us. And I get it. I understand. The man's been hurt. I get it. So let's get into why or how he's been hurt. For him to be, doing this whole thing that he's doing. The interpreter goes back home and he's going through his things or whatever. Like he's in a personal library, if you will. And he pulls open this drawer and we see him pull out and look at this little talisman. And this particular talisman is meant for two people and it's to reconnect them. Do you see where this is going? If not, it's okay. I'm going to keep explaining. Don't worry. One time when he was visiting the island in Japan, he met this beautiful lady who was born on April 8th. Just so happened to be the day that they were visiting and the day that he meets our girl. Okay, right. The visit is great. He's enjoying his time with her. And she goes, basically, if we're meant to be together, we'll always find a way back to each other. And so he has a talisman, she has a talisman. They attach it to their bags. Fast forward. He's back on the island. He gets off the train. He sees a backpack with the exact same talisman that matches the one on his bag. He's rushing after it. He's like, no, I think that's her. Is this fate? Is this love? We're finally reconnected? Yes, finally. He gets to the exit of the train station. It's raining. It's raining. So she stops. She pulls out her umbrella and he's getting closer to her. He gets to the door and she's walking out with her umbrella only to see that she is going into the arms of another man. And not just any man. He knows this man. This man at least appears to be his friend because he looks up and he goes, oh, perfect timing. You guys came on the same train. Let's go. So clearly he was here to meet this man. And just so happened to see the one that got away. And she got away into his friend's arms. So yeah, I get it. I get why, like, he'd be a little reserved about meeting somebody on an island on a trip again. Not going through that no more. Hurt me once. That's it. No shame on you, no shame on me. Just hurt me once. Done. Done. So, we're back to our girl. She deletes the photo. She moves on with her life. She's still got all these appearances because everybody's cheering for her name. Dorami. Okay? And our girl has got to get to this red carpet event. Okay? I believe it was like a Tokyo Film Festival. We're once again in Japan. And our girl steps out. This is her first major red carpet event. She steps out. She's going down the red carpet. They're screaming. They're chanting her name. The cameras are flashing. She's still trying to, compose herself. This is a lot to come around to. I can only imagine, like, how anxious I would be if this was me just trying to, keep myself composed. I get it, girl. I get it. So she stops. She steps in the center of the red carpet. She's striking her poses. The cameras are going. And then suddenly the cameras are flashing a little too much. In the distance behind those cameras, behind those flashes, she sees the figure of someone who looks oh so familiar, staring back at her. This figure that she sees starts walking towards her, slowly, eerily, a little creepy, staring right at her, lifeless in the skin. You know who it is? It's Dorami. Dorami gets closer and closer to our girl. And it is now safe to say that our girl has begun having hallucinations. Dorami comes up to her. She is looking her in the eye, nose to nose, directly in front of her. And our girl, she can't take it. She's just a nervous wreck because what do you mean the character that I played in this movie, this fictional character, is standing in front of me? I'm really about to lose it right now. And so her heart's going, palpitations, everything. And she starts spiraling in her mind. And from the outside, we can see that she's getting pale. She's starting to get a little lifeless. And her girl eyes, they close again, and she about faints. She's fainting on the red carpet. Her girl can't catch a break. But just as she's about to hit the floor, arms and a lovely tailored tux catches her and looks into her eyes and goes, Dorami, wake up. Boy, was he fine. Oh my God. He was so good looking. He tells her to wake up. The cameras are going. Everybody's screaming. This guy's hot. He's catching her. This is a moment on the red carpet. She gathers herself. He takes her by the arm and he goes, come, let's walk the red carpet together. We no longer see Dorami. They continue down the red carpet. Everybody's screaming. And then we cut to a hotel. We see the interpreter. He's walking back up to his room, reassuming that he's there for a project still. He gets to his room door, and outside, squatted down, sitting in a squatted down. I can't find my words. There we see our girl in front of his hotel door room, crying, jacket draped over her shoulders, and she looks up at him and she says, I need help. Something's not right and I need you to help me, please. And he crouches down so that they're eye level and he grabs her. We've reached the end. Talk about some emotions that are just, oh. Girl, I'm tied up and you know we gotta find out what happens next, okay? So, trust me, I'm gonna tell you. Tell me what you think in the thoughts so far, where you think we're going, where you think this is headed. I'll see you guys next week. Love you, bye.